at a position where you have to explode, come off the ball the way that, those guys have to. So, I mean, it takes time.
Seems like it's not looking good for Kenny, if he's still missing practice today. Where are you at with him?
We're just going to kind of finish the week out, see if we can get him out there, see what he can do, see how he feels. I don't think he's accepting that answer. I know he's not.
Is Kenny the type of player where you would put him on the field if he has not practiced the entire week?
Yes. But I just want to make sure that we're not going to have a setback injury-wise. That's my biggest concern.
When you spent the past weekend looking at stuff, what on defense did you come to the idea of? I know guys doing their jobs is the number one priority, but anything?
Well, the biggest thing we talked about was explosive plays. Like that's where we've really been hurt the last two games, where teams they're able to get in the end zone with 4 or less plays, which that puts us in a bad spot. One, it's just happening multiple times, but I mean, we've really lived off the turnovers, and the longer kind of some of these drives have gone, we've been able to take advantage of a mistake and got a negative play somewhere or a turnover to where we can flip the field, and now all of a sudden we can do something on the other side of the ball, and we really haven't had that opportunity. We've been really hurting ourselves by not being on the same page, not doing our job, not finishing a play to where the other team takes advantage of it.
Adam, assuming that Ted is healthy, I guess he was full go yesterday. Are you moving forward with him as your starter, or are you considering Wesley or Jake at all in terms of a competition there?
No, I mean, we're good with where we're at right now. I mean, he took a weird shot. It was just a weird angle for him to where it just kind of, knocked him out of the game there for a little bit.
And with Jake, I guess you have a decision to make by next Thursday. Do you know at this point if you're going to bring him back this year, or is that undecided?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just take the whole time, and when we feel whether it's the right time and he's feeling it right, and we got a chance to move him up, we're going to move him up. And anytime you can get a lineman that's fresh, that's beneficial to us.
When you talked about how you're going to take the weekend to assess everything, including scheme defensively, how much thought, how much discussion was there about making more than a tweak to the wide 9 concepts?
There wasn't a ton of discussion about anything. It was more, hey, these are the things we need to fix. Here's what we need to do. This is how we need to do it. And then we moved on from there. So that was about all the discussion there was.
Seems, and we'll talk today, but last week Matt was pretty angry with how things have gone. What kind of conversations have you had with him about keeping this thing together?
All our conversations have been about what are the solutions. Anybody can walk in and say, hey, this is messed up, this is wrong, or, I mean, that's great. Like, I need to go in there and say, hey, here's where I think we can do something different or better, and that's what I'm looking for from him too, of here's how we're going to get this fixed, here's how we're going to address this. Like, that's what you want to do. Like, complaining about any of the problems, that doesn't do anything. Like, we need the solutions.
You obviously are on the offensive side, but you felt the need to go in and say these are a handful of things that...
Yeah, I mean, that's my job. I've been around for a minute, so.
What is it about Matt's approach and his process that you trust him even when you guys hit a rough patch like this?
Because, I mean, you're talking about a smart guy that's been around for a long time, that's been a very good position coach. He's done a lot of good things as a coordinator. We've had some really good games. We've had some games where I know that he wants some, whether it be calls or execution, we all do. At the end of the day, going, man, I wish I would have done this. But that's part of the learning process. And that's why it's the guys that keep learning and figuring out a way to get things fixed when it's not going the right way that are the guys you want to be around. Those are the guys that you trust. And that's what he works to do every week.
You think of him as somebody that adapts rather than someone that's bullheaded and sticks to, we're doing this no matter what?
Yeah, he's not going to do the same thing over and over again and just keep getting drummed. Like, none of us want to do that. Like, we weren't doing well in offense in a lot of different areas over the last 3 years, and we just kept trying to adjust and try to figure out what works for us.
Adam, regarding Mike Gesicki and yards after catch, I know you've talked about, him not leaving his feet. He went low, he kind of got dinged. How should he proceed? How does he get his yards after catch, do you think? What's the best route for him to take there?
I mean, make the right decision on whatever you do. I mean, just don't be wrong. He went when the one that he hurt his shoulder on. I mean, he went really low, and of course he came right back at me and said, "Well, I didn't leap, so I would have jumped over the guy. I would have been all right." So, but I mean, it's just one of those things where he's a tall guy. He's a long strider. It is kind of strange, like the way he can defend himself. What does he go low? I just want him to be careful as far as trying to get up in the air too much because, you saw what happened in Houston. Now all of a sudden he gets dropped on his head. So we just got to keep finding ways to get him to really just get north, and try to get glancing blows and run through contact.
And how can his athleticism help him? I guess he's pretty fast. I mean, he's agile, but how can that help him going upfield? I mean,
well, he can run by everybody. I mean, he's fast for a guy his size.
I know that Ryan's not playing this week, but I have a big picture Ryan Tannehill question, okay? There are some people, whether it's media fans, whatever, who have made their case that they've seen enough, that they have seen enough on Ryan Tannehill. And I want to know why you maybe don't feel that way.
Well, I mean, what qualifications are we talking about with the people saying that? None. So, I mean, I don't really care what anybody else thinks.
I want to ask it in a different way. Why do you still
bad.
believe?
That was terrible.
I'll take a second shot. I'll try to. Why do you? It's a question about why do you still believe that Tannehill is
Because
the
we've made a lot of strides since we started in 2016. I mean, he had some good seasons before I got here. I know that. And we did some different stuff that year. We leaned on the running game and worked off the play action stuff. He does a great job with the zone read stuff. When you have an athletic guy that can move around as much as he can, and then his arm strength has been something that I've never been around before, where we hit like the pass we hit against Tennessee where he throws it, 50 plus yards in the air and the guy never breaks stride. I mean, he has some rare qualities that you can't find in a lot of guys, physically. And the more that he keeps playing, he keeps learning game to game. And that's something to me that puts him in a position where where's our ceiling at? I don't think we're close to it. I think we just keep getting better, keep finding ways to maximize all his skill set, because it becomes a problem for the defense. It's hard to defend him when you don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to be zone read? Is he going to sprint out? Is he going to run a naked? Is he going to go play action? Is it drop back? Are we running the ball? There's a lot of things they got to defend.
So why wasn't it better when he wasn't hurt?
It was. I mean, the first 3 games we played pretty good. I mean, we had, yeah, I mean, that happens. I mean, that happens sometimes in the NFL. Like, quarterbacks we play New England. That's not easy. There's a reason why they win a lot of games every year.
No, but I'm not saying you won. I'm saying, why wasn't he better
The first 3 games?
than what he was previously? He was the same guy.
The first 3 games he played pretty good. I mean, you're asking me that question, you don't even know what you're talking about. So it's hard for me to defend anything when you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you don't. I watch the film. I sit there. We evaluate the scheme we're asking him to do, and he does a good job on it.
I know what results are, and I know that his
That's fine. That's
results.
how you look at things. You look at everything's results to you. Like, we're
Yes.
going through a process because that's what it is. That's what the season is. It's about trying to get guys to trend upward. And we were heading in the right direction. We hit a speed bump with New England. And then Cincinnati, he's playing well, and then we lose our left tackle and we make 2 bad decisions.
If I may ask a non-Tannehill question, Devontae Parker, how do you keep that momentum going from career game last week with a quarterback he doesn't have any experience with to keep trending upwards?
I think really it starts in practice, which he's had 2 good days. He's executing all the things that we're asking him to do. He's practicing fast. I feel like his body feels good. And now it's just going to be, when we hit Sunday, trying to make ways that he's not getting taken away by what the defense is doing, moving him around like we keep trying to do. and expand what his route tree is, his position, flexibility, whether it be inside, outside, number 3 in a 3-by-1, like just things like that. You just want to keep him to where guys can't get a beat on him where they say he's going to be there every time.
And so why wasn't he doing that, not just this season, but before? Or was it just he was not ready to do
Well,
that?
we were doing that last year, where we were moving him around more. The flexibility was getting to the point where we felt really confident about it. It's just that we kind of lost. He got hurt, and then we kind of lost track of what we were doing, and we were trying to fix a lot of stuff and trying to get our balance back, and we got stagnant in a lot of the stuff that we did with him.
Adam, is this looking like the week that they're really back barring any setbacks?
I think we got a good chance. We really wanted to push him this week because the thing is I don't think he's going to be 100%. He's always going to have some kind of pain. We just got to figure out where is he hurting, because my biggest concern was in the run game or pass protection, was he going to be able to hold up against defensive ends that are bigger than him? And that's really was my biggest concern. It seems like things have gone well this week. I'll have a better idea probably tomorrow and Saturday as far as how he feels after these last 2 practices, because these are the more physical ones. So once we kind of get word from him on how he feels, then we can make a decision.
Does he benefit you more in the run game or the pass game?
I think he's able to do both. He was actually doing well in the run game. He got better over that span that he was playing. We had a little bit of a drop off when he went out, and then once we brought Nick back, then we had another spike to where he started doing well again.
You mentioned something, Joe, I don't know if you want to follow up on the question, where we wanted clarity. You said earlier this week that you need the defensive tackles to stop going around blocks. Is that correct, Jeremy? Mm-hmm. Can you explain what you mean by that? Are you talking about stunts, or are you talking about not being in their gap?
Well, the biggest thing that we're talking about is, one, setting the edge, and then our interior guys just understanding run-pass options of you don't want to run around the quarterback, if you're inside especially, because now that's just going to open up massive holes inside. And then when in the run game, you want to make sure that we're fighting pressure against blocks. We don't want to just pick an edge and now all of a sudden we get inside zone and we're just running up the field. So, it's just understanding the blocking schemes and how we need to take those type of things on, which I think our guys have done a good job this week of trying to understand, okay, big picture, all right, it's not always going to be a pass. Let's make sure we're doing a good job of taking on our blocks correctly, being square, using our hands, just like all those little details that we work on every day and individual. I watch Chris do it every day. And it's just we need to translate what we're doing in practice to the game. And if we do that, then it cleans up a lot of things.
Thank you.